Hello everyone. In this video, we will discuss about thrashing. So before going to the thrashing, we already discussed about what are all the allocation algorithms, which means how we are allocating frames based on some algorithms like proportional algorithm and equal algorithm, and then global or local replacement. So how we are replacing and which are all the pages that we are using for replacement, either it is a global replacement or the local replacement. And the next one is we will discuss about the non-uniform memory access. So in the concept of virtual memory, we will think about the main memory or all are in equal, which means we going to access all the portion of the main memory as equal. But that is not the case in some systems, like some of the systems may have multiple CPUs. So in that we will be having many memories that belongs to the different boards. So there is some CPU, there will be many number of boards, and in one of the board we may have many number of CPUs that has been connected with the memory. So like that we will be having in case of multiple CPU systems. So if you look at this, so there will be many board, and here we will be having many number of CPUs and one of the memory. And in the same way we have another board which uses many number of CPUs and will be having memory. Suppose if the CPU wants to access the memory which is located in the same board, so no problem, so it will take only the minimal access time, isn't it? But if the CPU of other board wants to access the memory which is located in another board, that is in case of multiple CPU systems, then it is obviously takes more access time, right? So here the it varies in memory access time. In the same system it varies in memory access time. So if you have difference in these performance, then we can say it is a non-uniform memory access system. So it is nothing but non-uniform memory access system. So which in case of virtual memory, and you need to find out which of the page frames has been located. Suppose if you are working in these kind of systems like multiple CPUs, so you need to find out where actually the page frames are located, either which is in the same board of memory, or it may belongs to the main memory which is located in different board. So this is also takes much more access time, so whenever you want to find any page frames. So this is actually one of the drawback or one of the limitation that we are facing in case of virtual memory concept. So going to the next topic, that is thrashing, which is nothing but okay, I will tell you what is thrashing. So before that, I would like to tell about how we are going to deal any low priority process. Suppose if you have low priority process and that process has been allocated with only minimum number of frames. Say for example, if there is one process A, but this process wants 10 number of frames, okay, 10 number of frames, but we have allocated only 5 number of frames to this process. We have allocated only minimum number of frames, we have not given enough number of frames for the process to be executed. So if you find any of the process that holds only minimum number of frames, so it needs some other some more number of frames in order to execute this entire operation, which means you are not going to execute the process, you are going to suspend the process. So this is what many operating system will follow this method, which it will check out for any low priority process. If it holds only minimum number of frames, then automatically those process will be suspended. So why we are not allowing this process to execute, why we are suspending this process? Because if you allow this process to execute, what happens here, it holds only minimum number of frames, so you will be having only few set of pages that belongs to process. If you start execution, so it will execute all those pages, and again in order to execute it, it may need some other page. So frequently you will be getting the page fault, so you will be getting more number of page faults in order to complete that particular process. So that is what some operating system will not execute that process. If it does not hold the enough number of frames, it will suspend automatically. Okay, but if you allow that particular process to be executed, so you are getting more number of page faults. So what happens here, the process will not be executed at all. So we are just spending, the system will spending most of the time for performing only the paging operation rather than the executing the process. So if you get more faults, or obviously you need to transfer all the pages into the main memory. So this is what the paging operation. So we need to execute all these operation, but we are not going to execute the process at all. So this kind of situation is said to be thrashing, which means the high paging activity, which means frequently you're going to perform only the paging operation, which means swapping out, swapping in all the pages in between the main memory and disk. So this technique is said to be paging. So we will be performing only this paging operation rather than executing the process, because you're getting much number of page faults. Frequently you're getting the page faults. Okay, so this is nothing but thrashing. Whenever you get more number of page faults, this is nothing but thrashing. And why we are getting this situation, which is nothing but whenever the process has been allotted only with the minimum number of frames, then it is said to be, then it will leads to thrashing. Okay, so if we are allocating only minimal number of frames to any process, then obviously it will leads to thrashing. Cause of thrashing, the next one is, because of thrashing, what are all the performance that has been affected in the system, how it affects the performance in the system. So that is what we are going to discuss. So let us take one example what the operating system will do in earlier paging scheme. In earlier machine, so whenever it finds any CPU utilization is too low. Okay, so if the operating system finds the CPU utilization is too low, so what it will do, which means the CPU is not executing any process, it could sit idle for some time. So in order to avoid this, in order to increase the CPU utilization, so the operating system will increase the degree of multi-programming. So what does the mean by degree of multi-programming? Which means the system may get many number of new process. So it will allocate more number of new process into the system, so that it will be giving all the process to the CPU for execution. So it thinks that CPU utilization will be increased, so it will not degrade the system performance. In that way it will think and it will increase the degree of multi-programming. But what happens here, actually why the CPU utilization is too low, because of this thrashing only we are getting the CPU utilization, minimal CPU utilization, which means the system will be keeps on performing only the paging operation. It will not allow any of the process to execute by the CPU. So the CPU utilization will be lowered. But what happens here, the operating system thinks in different way, and it is allocating more number of process, so that it thinks that it will increase the CPU utilization. But what happens actually? If you get more number of process, again all the process to be executed, but there could be only limited number of frames that we can allocate for the incoming process, isn't it? So because of less number of space in main memory, so we will be allocating only few number of frames to the process, that incoming process, so that if you keep on executing all those process, then automatically it will lead to more number of page faults. So whenever you get high page fault rate, then which is nothing but thrashing, right? So even if the operating system increases the degree of multi-programming, so that it wants to increase the CPU utilization, but what happens here, we are getting thrashing, and here whenever you get any page fault, so we are going to use only the global replacement algorithm. So global replacement, which means we can replace any of the pages that belongs to any other process. If suppose there could be more number of process, say for example process A and process B, so process may consists of 5 number of pages and process B may consists of 4 number of pages. So what happens here, suppose if the process A wants to execute one more page which is not available in main memory, that is nothing but page fault. So you need to replace any of the pages that was available previously, right? So you are not going to replace the page that belongs to process A, you are going to replace the page that belongs to another process, that is B. This is what global replacement algorithm. The another technique is said to be local. Local means you are going to replace the page that was available to the same process, that is A. That is what local. But here we are going to use only the global replacement. So let us see this graph how we are getting thrashing even if you increase the degree of multiprogramming. So if you look at this we have plotted the CPU utilization in x-axis and I'm sorry, in y-axis, the degree of multiprogramming in x-axis. So what happens here, if you increase the degree of multiprogramming, so this CPU utilization will also be increased. At some point, it is actually lowered, which means the CPU utilization cannot be increased at some point, which means if you get thrashing at that time. If you get thrashing, then probably the CPU utilization cannot be increased. So it will be decreased at as a vertical line if you note down in this graph, which means the CPU utilization dropped. CPU utilization has been dropped here. Okay, so even if you increase the degree of multiprogramming, then we cannot increase the CPU utilization at some point once you get thrashing. So this is not the correct way of avoiding the thrashing. So this is not the correct way of increasing the CPU utilization. So we should avoid thrashing. So here we can limit thrashing. So how to limit thrashing? With the help of local replacement algorithm, which means instead of using the global replacement, we can use the local replacement algorithm, so that we can limit the thrashing somewhat. So but the entire problem cannot be solved with the help of this local replacement. Somewhat we can limit the number, thrashing, which means the number of page fault can be reduced, the page fault rate can be reduced somewhat. So this is what how we are limiting the thrashing, because if you use the one of the page that belongs to the same process, so it will not affect any other process. Suppose if you use the global replacement, what happens, the all other process will be affected, so that all other process again may get more number of page faults. It may leads to thrashing. So obviously it will reduce the CPU utilization. So we can limit somewhat this thrashing with the help of this local replacement algorithm instead of global replacement. But how can we prevent thrashing completely? So this thrashing problem can be prevented with the help of working set strategy. So here we are getting into a new principle, that is working set strategy, which means we are going to refer some set of pages that were recently referred, and which are all the pages that were recently referred, and all those pages will be considered as one working set model, one working set window. And all these pages we are going to find out, so what could be the working set model. So before going into this working set model, so you should know about what is locality model. So what is locality model and what do you mean by locality? So locality model means as the process executes, so there might be a chance of getting execution starts from the main function. So say for example, if you have one C program and you want to execute sequentially all the lines which you have in the C code, so you will start your program only with the main statement, isn't it? So that is what the usual execution. So here we are going to start with our execution from the main statement. And when you are executing it, you may get some function call statement. So if you get function call statement, automatically the control will be transferred to that function definition. So wherever you have that function definition in that program, you may have after 50 lines of code, you may have after 100 lines of code. So that is not a problem. So wherever you have that function definition in your program, so automatically control will be transferred from that location to another location, isn't it? So this is what locality. This is what locality. So as the process executes, so here we need to transfer from one locality to another locality based on the memory reference instructions or whatever you want to execute. So if you want to execute one of the function definition, so you may include your function calling statement. So what are all the local or global variables that is incorporated with that function? All those things will be executed, will be used. So this is what, so once you execute this function, then you should again the control be returned back to the main function, which means you left that locality. So whichever the variables you have used, that will be removed with that locality itself. So you should release that variables whatever you have used with that locality. So here the word locality represents the set of pages actively that are actively used. So what are all the set of pages that are used currently? That is what locality. So here we are just based on this locality model. So we are going to use the principle of working set model in order to avoid thrashing. So we are going to refer, so for that to implement this working set model, so we need to keep track of information about the page references. So what are all the page references, recently referred pages, whatever you have. So you need to keep track of all those information. So what are all the pages that has been referred recently, and with that information, so you can define this working set window. So here in this working set model, we are going to use one parameter. So it is represented as this symbol, and this parameter which is used for representing for how many number of memory reference you're going to define this working set. So here if you look at this is the memory, some of the memory references which has been taken from page reference table. And with this references, say if you are providing this value, this parameter value as 10 references, so for every 10 references what could be the working set of that t1. So here t1 is the working set window, and for that working set window, so what could be the working set model, which means how many number of pages, what are all the pages that we have referred. So not the number of pages, what are all the pages that we have referred. Even if you refer the pages repeatedly, so you should define it only once in this working set. So this could be the corresponding working set of t1. So if you look at this, what are all the pages we have referred for these 10 number of memory references, you referred 1 2 5 6 7. So that is what working set do. So here if you take these 10 number of references, which means starting from this 3 and till this last page reference, page, you have referred actually 10 number of memory references. But here what could be the working set of this window? So here only 3 and 4, these are the two pages we have referred. So though we have referred so many times, but we have to define it only once in this working set. So this is how we are defining the working set. So if you look at this, this parameter value will be the 10 memory reference, which means if you are assigning one the lowest level to this parameter, okay, which means this will define you what could be the size of the working set. This parameter will define you what could be the size of the working set. So this nothing but the important property that we need to use for working set model, okay. So here if you assign this value as very minimal one, which means too low, if this value is too low, then we cannot cover the entire number of pages whatever we want to refer, isn't it? Suppose if you make this value as very large, so if it holds large value, then it will overlap the many different localities, okay, it will overlap the different localities. So it is highly difficult to maintain the working set model, okay. So here this is what the working set size, and D represents the summation of which working set size of all the process that was located in the main memory. So that is what D. So here D should not be greater than M. What does it mean? So if your M is nothing but the number of frames, number of available frames, so it should not be greater than M. So then only we can allocate the number of frames. So if it exceeds M, then any of the process must be selected by operating system and it could be removed from the system, or it must be suspended, okay. So if it is greater than M, then it leads to thrashing. So this is what, so we have to avoid it, so that we need to maintain the D value which is lesser than M, okay. So here in this working set, anyways, it is this technique has been used for preventing the thrashing problem completely, but the implementation is somewhat too difficult in case of working set. So say for example, if you're taking this parameter value is 10,000 references, and what could be the timer interval, which is nothing but 5,000. So we are assigning some timer interval, which means for some amount of references, you are just making working set, and after some timer interval, again you need to make some working set model. For every references you have to, I mean, for every timer interval you need to make the working set model, and obviously the working set model size is 10,000 references. So here a reference bit, so whenever you get page fault, so you need to check what could be the reference bit and two memory in bit value. If any of these bit value is equals to 1, then which we can say that page has been referred recently. If all the values are 0, then we can say this page has not been used for long time. So in that way we can refer it. Anyways, if you even use the working set strategy, it is somewhat more difficult to implement all these concepts. Anyhow, it is avoiding thrashing completely. We can go for some other method which is more which follows a direct approach rather than this working set strategy, which is nothing but page fault frequency. So here if you look at this is a graph which helps you to understand about this concept, page fault frequency. So here we are noted this page fault rate in y-axis and number of frames in x-axis, number of available frames. Suppose we are maintaining one boundary between the page fault rate, lower page fault rate and the higher page fault rate. So when can we say that the page fault rate is too low, which means this is actually lower bound and this one is upper bound. So when can we say that it is the lower bound page fault rate, which means if you are allocated more, if you have allocated more number of frames than the required number of frames by the process, then what happens, you will not be getting the page fault rate. Okay, so if it lowers, if it even lowers than this lower bound, then we should decrease the number of frames. We have to deallocate some of the frames from that process. Suppose if it increases the page fault rate than this upper bound, if it increases the page fault rate than this upper bound, then you should increase the number of frames. You should allocate even more number of frames to that process. So this is what the concept which we are using under this page fault frequency. So in order to implement all these concepts, so you should know about the pre-paging. So pre-paging is nothing but how many number of pages and what are all the pages that it may refer before starting the execution of the any one of the process. So we should know about how many number of pages or the what are all the pages that it may require. That is what pre-paging. So we need to use the pre-paging. So whenever you're going to implement any of this concept like page fault frequency as well as working set strategy. So one more point that I need to mention under this working set strategy. So whenever you don't find any free frames to be allocated, then you can use the page replacement concept. So you have to follow any of the page replacement algorithm for replacing the old page with the new page. This is about the thrashing and how we are recovering from thrashing. So we just discussed what do you mean by thrashing and why we are getting thrashing and what are all the cause of thrashing, which is nothing but if you get thrashing, so how the system will react for the thrashing. And the next one is how can we limit thrashing and how can we prevent thrashing. Prevention can be done by two methods. One is working set strategy and another one is page fault frequency. Thank you.